Hello, welcome back to this channel. Happy Monday. It's only Monday and it feels like it's already been a really long week. Is it just me? Maybe it's because I'm still like a little bit congested. I'm just like, oh, but it is Monday. Welcome back to this channel. I'm very happy to have you. Today we are getting into It Ends With Never. There's been a couple of things happening in the courts, as well as is Melissa Nathan and Jed Wallace in more deep trouble? OMG. And also, right off the bat, we're going to talk about Blake Lively's Crashout on Instagram. So if you're ready, I'm ready. You are going to need it, okay? Because the first court ruling, get your emotional support lip gloss. You are in frame with Mandy Magnan. Well, what a weird little Instagram tribute. As you've probably all know, if you're following along with the It Ends With Us case or anything to do with Snake Lively or Crying Reynolds, well, Crying Reynolds is off buying himself more awards. Blake Lively is over here crashing out on Instagram, and it is very strange, okay? Blink twice if you need a doctor, Blake, okay? Because at this point, I think you're spiraling. I think you have been for a long time, and I think that's probably why you don't want to show medical records, okay? And why you've also dropped two of your biggest claims when it comes to do with any kind of harm, because you don't want to show those medical records. And I think it's because you're not right upstairs, and either you've seen a doctor and they told you that, or you need to see one, because what is going on? Gossip Girl posted this little tribute to their 18th year where it said, "Our favorite show turning 18. Yes, darlings, it's been exactly 18 years since Gossip Girl first graced our screens on September 19th, 2007. The drama, the scandals, the fashion are still unforgettable. From the steps of the Met to the Upper East Side penthouse, Blair, Serena, Chuck, Nate, and Dan became more than characters. They became an era. Time flies, but some legends never fade." Now, I, for one, have never watched this show. I think it was just, I missed it, you know? It wasn't like my time. But they do tag all of the stars in it. They, of course, have to just hashtag Blake, because I'm sure she turned off now that no one can tag her in anything, because she had a little bit of a pornographic incident happen where a bunch of people were tagging her in some porn, which is crazy. But yeah, and the comments are very limited. I mean, there's only that many comments. But then Blake, she couldn't just repost it. She couldn't just make a comment on it. She couldn't just put it in her stories. Thank you. No, she had to do a whole camera roll dump. It just, I don't know. Blake, everything was dying down with Taylor Swift, so you just wanted people to start talking about you again? I don't get it, okay? You're giving us too much. It's almost too easy at this point, okay? This is what she says. "The summer Gossip Girl turned 18, which is obviously the summer I turned pretty. It's like that show is big now." But then she goes on to say, "This was my college, it was my education, my social life, my hard work, my late nights and early mornings, my teacher. New York City and Silver Cup Studios, and sometimes Paris, was my campus for 6 years. So many memories. What a decade. What a university." Okay, and then there's, some comments, I guess. Obviously, they're very limited, but you see there's a few. There's about 10 comments on there, but it's the pictures that I thought were quite strange. And Blake is an adder, okay? She is going to at everyone she can. She didn't at nobody, none of the cast members. And do you know why that is? Because they don't follow you, Blake. They don't follow you. But let's just look at the pictures here because, oh my gosh. So there's some, I don't want to go all the way back there. Here we go. So there's some pictures here of the cast. A lot with her and Penn Badgley. Okay, a lot with her and Penn Badgley. Here we go. Like very old photos. I don't know if she was like, this photo looks like they were on a date. It looks like prom. It looks like date night with her ex-boyfriend. To be posting your ex-boyfriend, whether you were cast members or not, is like diabolical. I don't know if her and Ryan are like in a fight right now or something. Like, it is diabolical to post a photo or many photos of you with your ex-boyfriend. Okay. Then you go, there's these pictures. Again, she's with the star Leon Meister, who she was horrible and cruel to, and announced to the world that she was born in a cage because Miss Meister's mom gave birth to her while she was in a corrections facility that nobody knew about until Blake Lively just said it on stage once, that her cast members were born in a cage. I mean, it just is très bizarre. It's just très bizarre. There's a lot. Penn Badgley again. Her and Michelle Trachtenberg. Is this the only photo that you had with Michelle? We all know, sadly, Michelle lost her life at such a young age. Okay, this is the photo she posts. I mean, if it's me, y'all, and you're supposed to be my friend, don't be posting no photos like this of me after. No, thank you. Yeah, so we just keep going. Yeah, just, okay. Very, very weird. And although we can see right through it and it looks a little delulu, all of the headlines are picking up how awesome it was. Never before seen Gossip Girl photos. Never before seen. Oh my gosh, Blake Lively shares all of her rare photos. Okay, but we're not buying it over here, all right? Whatever you're selling, no thank you, doors closed, not buying it. And now I get it. You want to be proud of the show that you were on. You want to celebrate the 18th birthday. It's huge. I know Clueless was just coming out and those stars were like, yeah, it's like the 20th anniversary maybe. I don't remember. But of course you want to celebrate it, right? However, Blake, none of the cast follow you on Instagram. That's why you couldn't tag them. Actually, the only person that does follow Blake Lively from the entire cast is Chase Crawford. Chase Crawford is the only person from Gossip Girl that follows Blake Lively. Even Michelle Trachtenberg didn't follow Blake Lively. Penn Badgley definitely doesn't mess with Blake Lively. Do you know why? Because he's friends with Justin Baldoni and they share the same faith. And what you did to Penn Badgley on the set, Blake Lively openly admitted that when Penn Badgley started on Gossip Girl, she did not like him. She says it in her own words that she did not like him and she tried to turn the entire cast against him. And this isn't just something I'm making up. Blake Lively admitted it. She admitted to turning the Gossip Girl cast against Penn Badgley. I mean, if history doesn't repeat itself at this point. And then you know what happened? They started dating after. Yes, they had a relationship. And that's very interesting because I wonder if the same thing happened with Justin Baldoni, where she originally didn't like him and then fell in love with him and he did not want to be with her. And that must have been a first for Blake Lively because every man wants to be with Blake Lively. I mean, all of the crew, including Steve Soritz, the founder of Wayfair, showed up on set just because her legs were going to be in stirrups and they wanted to see her woo-ha, right? That's her logic, is that every single person, I mean, from her own logic, in her own complaint, is that not only Justin Baldoni, but Jamie Heath, the crew, Steve Soritz, everybody. I mean, the things that she is saying, she's throwing the entire cast and crew under the bus, every single person on that set, because it is people's careers, it is people's jobs to ensure that the talent is safe, that the talent is protected, that rules are in place. So if those rules weren't in place, then that just means that, oh my God, it was a free-for-all because everyone just wanted to be so close to Blake Lively's vajayjay that everything else, they didn't care about nothing else. It was only to get to be with Blake. They were willing to throw their whole lives, their whole careers, the entire studio, everything away to be with Blake Lively. So not only is Blake Lively posting about her ex-boyfriend who doesn't follow her, who she bullied on the set and admits to trying to get him kicked off. But the same guy who is friends with Justin Baldoni, they've done podcasts together, they share the same faith, and have been seen out together. It's just very weird. It's just very weird. It's like, it's a Blake Lively crash out. And at this point, it's like I said before, it's just too easy. Because, girl, what is you doing? I mean, I understand maybe reposting that or sharing a couple of photos, but all of those photos with Penn Badgley, as well as the photos with cast members who don't like you, who haven't messed with you since the filming of the show, who don't follow you, that's why you couldn't add them. It's sad. It's real sad. And now let's just segue on to Stephanie motherfucking Jones. I hate to say it. Already I could feel when the words coming out. Stephanie Jones has got a win today in the courts. Oh, I said it. Okay. Yes, Stephanie motherfucking Jones got a win today in the court. Let's go over it. Depositions were underway all of September. What we know so far is Miss Case, Miss Coslow, Blake Lively, and maybe a few other people have been deposed. And currently during this week, I think it's the week for Justin Baldoni, Jamie He, Steve Soritz. That's all coming. They have now until, I believe, October, but let me look at that. But anyway, it should be this week or next week. And through one of the depositions by Miss Case, her lawyers, as well as the Wayfair parties, were designating that her deposition and some of her questions remain attorney eyes only. Well, Stephanie motherfucking Jones did not like that. She wants to know because, of course, she's trying to figure out who created the websites and the Pinterest and the Facebook pages all about her on Who's Afraid of Stephanie Jones. Stephanie Jones leaks, right? So she fought to have that designation reassigned so that they can share, the Stephanie Jones Council can share with Stephanie Jones exactly the answers that Miss Case gave in the deposition. Miss Case and Wayfair, again, were fighting that. However, the judge came back with an order today and granted Stephanie Jones the win here. So they are going to be able to designate it confidential. So it will be under seal. We will not be able to see that, but Stephanie motherfucking Jones will be able to. So Stephanie Jones, they moved to designate some of the portions of the deposition of Catherine Case under attorney eyes only. The Wayfair parties and Case both opposed the motion, and the motion to de-designate is granted. Judge Lyman says the protective order establishes two types of confidential discovery materials, those designated either confidential or attorney eyes only, and corresponding restrictions on the disclosure of these materials. The attorney eyes only designation shall only be utilized for confidential discovery material of such a highly confidential and personnel sensitive or proprietary nature that the revelation of such is highly likely to cause a significant competitive, business, commercial, financial, or privacy injury to the producing party. So some of the things that are considered attorney eyes only would be trade secrets, security measures taken by parties or third parties, medical information. Hey, let's tell Blake Lively about that since she likes to leak people's medical information. Highly personal and intimate information about third parties, and highly personal and intimate information about parties other than information directly relevant to the truth or falsity of any allegations in the complaints in this case. In her deposition, Case testified that her employer's principal asked her to draft copy that later appeared on the StephanieJonesLeaks.com website, and that Case was told by her employer that the work was for a prospective client. So Catherine Case used to work for TAG, Melissa Nathan's agency. Gosh. Okay. So Case's counsel designated this testimony attorney eyes only on the record during the deposition. Counsel for the parties subsequently agreed to de-designate the portion of the deposition involving the creation of the website, although they disagreed on whether the identity of the prospective client should be de-designated. The motion follows. Counsel for the Jones party assert that de-designation is warranted because the identity of the prospective clients is not the kind of information that qualifies as attorney eyes only under the protective order, and because the current designation prevents counsel from informing their own clients that they have information regarding an individual who may now be identified as one of the Doe defendants in the Jones party's complaint. The Wayfair party's end case opposed the motion on the grounds that 1. Work done for clients should be interpreted to include work done for prospective clients under the protective order's attorney eyes only provision. 2. The identity of the individual is not relevant to the allegations in the case. And 3. Any post hoc sealing of the information would be an incomplete remedy, as the information would already have been publicly disseminated and the individual would have been unnecessarily injected into the case. I just personally think that in this case, when it comes to Jones versus Wayfair and Abel, so he does say in the footnotes here that the people in this case against Jones currently are the Wayfair parties, are Jennifer Abel, Melissa Nathan, Justin Baldoni, and Wayfair Studios. I don't think that this has anything to do with Wayfair, like with what's happening with It Ends With Us, the breach of contract, anything between the Wayfair parties when it has to do with It Ends With Us to Stephanie motherfucking Jones. I don't think the website has anything to do with this, but Jones does, of course, and she's going to try to bring it in because already she's claimed that Wayfair were helping Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel like take her under and stuff. It's all a bunch of kerfuffle. But anyway, the judge agrees that Stephanie motherfucking Jones' argument was stronger, and that also he's gonna let it happen. He's gonna let it happen because now, if the identity proves that it's people outside of this action, then Stephanie Jones can add them. Yay, more people. He says the Jones parties have the better of the argument. Their 8th cause of action is pled against defendants John Doe 1 through 10 and alleges defamation associated with the publishing of the website. The identity of an individual implicated in the creation of the website is directly relevant to the claim, even if the information is secondhand and does not by itself conclusively establish the individual's involvement. This is especially true given that the relevant defendants are currently unidentified. Counsel for the Jones party should not be prohibited from discussing the information with their clients, who may wish to amend the complaint to add the individual as a named defendant. Simply put, the protective order's attorney eyes only provisions are designed to shield sensitive information unrelated to the parties or claims in the case, and the information at issue here, even if in some sensitives do not so qualify. I'm really worried in one instance for Justin Baldoni and Wayfair that they've tied themselves on to Melissa Nathan and these people who seem to have done some shady stuff to other people, like to Stephanie Jones, and now I feel like Wayfair might be getting punished for it. However, I still don't think that the Stephanie Jones website has anything to do with It Ends With Us and anything to do with Wayfair. So I'm not really sure why all of this is kind of like cross-connecting. I don't think that Stephanie Jones should be able to add anybody to the claim if it has nothing to do with the contract that Wayfair broke with Stephanie Jones, as well as what happened between Jones and Jennifer Abel. But I'm not a lawyer and I'm not Judge Lyman, okay? Then they go on to say that just because it is going to be de-designated doesn't mean that it will be publicly disclosed. Case was also saying, well, if you are going to de-designate it, can you have some kind of higher security risk? The judge just said, no, it's going to be under seal and that should be good enough, and it will be permanently under sealed and to close this. So Stephanie motherfucking Jones is going to find out who was ordering Case to create that website and if they even ended up using it or what. And now the judge also has come back, not on a lot of important things. Like, I'm still waiting on anything to do with Van Zandt. I'm still waiting on what he's going to rule when it comes to Blake Lively asking for all those treble damages and attorney fees. I'm still waiting as what he's going to do because we already know Leslie Sloan, the New York Times, and Ryan Reynolds all file things to get all this stuff, attorney fees and stuff paid for. The New York Times is trying to get a final judgment, which is crazy. So I'm waiting on some important things to be ruled here, okay? But I think they are probably going to wait for summary judgment after all the depositions. I think Wayfair has some big tricks up their sleeve coming up. I think they have a really solid game plan here, but the deposition for Jed Wallace has been granted, so Blake Lively does get an extension to depose Jed Wallace, and that will be happening on October 9th. And it does tell you exactly where it's going to be. So if y'all wanted to go, there it is. Okay, so Jed Wallace will be deposed on October 9th. Unfortunately, he can't make it through mid-September because of some medical issues, but he will be getting deposed October 9th. Well, it's a small world after all, isn't it? Isn't it? Someone today, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all when you guys send me anything and everything. Sent me the video by Ashley Brianna Eve, who mentioned Logan Paul versus CoffeeZilla. Now, y'all know who Logan Paul is. He was a YouTuber, streamer, who then fought Mike Tyson, I think, right? That's all I kind of know about the Logan Paul. When I tell you that I couldn't care any less for the man, I truly mean it. I mean, I don't have anything against him, but yeah, that's him. Okay, I just had to Google it just to make sure. Anyway, he is in a lawsuit right now versus CoffeeZilla. CoffeeZilla is a commentator. He does he exposes things, investigative videos, things like that. So I guess he was doing and exposing videos against alleged fraud in the influencer crypto space. And I guess Logan Paul happens to fall under that because apparently he scammed or I don't know. I don't know too much about it, but apparently he was being exposed for fraud when it came to Crypto Zoo. Now, Crypto Zoo already to me sounds fraudulent, right? But Logan Paul alleges that CoffeeZilla defamed him, that the defamation claim is tied to CoffeeZilla's videos in which he claims Crypto Zoo, a crypto game project associated with Logan Paul, was a scam and that Logan Paul should refund all of its investors. Logan Paul's complaints includes the argument that CoffeeZilla made false statements about Logan Paul's knowledge, his intentions, and performance of Crypto Zoo, and that there are also claims that Logan Paul was about to release more projects like Liquid Marketplace, if that doesn't sound strange. Liquid Marketplace and CoffeeZilla claimed and intended to expose every single thing that Logan Paul was about to do when it came to the scammy and fraudulent crypto spaces and influencers. Now, I looked over on the docket and Logan Paul has a whole bunch of lawyers, okay? But CoffeeZilla is defending himself, including raising funds from his merch and on Patreon, and he's doing all of it by himself, which is amazing, right? And CoffeeZilla is arguing that he said that everything that he said qualifies and falls under protected speech, opinions, investigative reporting, statements were made, and there is basis for the claim, so he wasn't lying. We'll see. But I mean, all of these lawsuits coming out about commentators just speaking on things and giving their opinion, y'all need to stop, okay? When is it gonna stop? But it's a small world after all, like I said, because who's involved in this mess? Allegedly, Melissa Nathan and Jed Wallace. And now what seems to be happening is they are fighting for motions to compel. Yeah, nobody wants to produce any communications. CoffeeZilla doesn't want to produce it. Neither does Paul. Logan Paul allegedly now has hired Tag and also, what is it called? Street Relations. And he doesn't want to show any of the communications because he's saying that it's work. I don't know what he's claiming, honestly. He doesn't want to show them, but he does put them down on a privileged log. But this case has been going on since June 27th of 2024, and it is still going, and it is a fight just for privileged logs and just for communications. But when I was going through Mr. Logan Paul's privilege log, so he's saying that the documents withheld altogether a claim of privilege, doesn't say what the privilege is, but they're just withheld document logs. And this is it. Now you will see, look at that. Number 2, Jed Wallace, street relations, public relations personnel. So there is a privilege log with him, he's claiming. Look who's right underneath it. Melissa Nathan. And it's not just in there too. There's more. I mean, Jed Wallace again, Melissa Nathan again. Oh my gosh. So I don't know how they're all tied in, but if you look now, Jed Wallace and Melissa Nathan have been brought up in a handful. We have them now in the It Ends With Us with Justin Baldoni. They were also brought up in the Rebel Wilson case against Amanda Ghost and all of the producers from that film. And now we have it in the Logan Paul versus CoffeeZilla. It's very strange. Oh yeah, and Stephanie motherfucking Jones. Now again, I'm not sure exactly what they did for Logan Paul because nothing's been produced. It's a privilege log, but there were communications between them, and they are fighting really hard to not have to show them the communications. This is why I said I think I'm almost scared that maybe Justin Baldoni and Wayfair got into bed with some mean people, and I'm hoping for their sake that they just listened to Wayfair and followed them morally and what their wishes were. And yeah, because I don't know. I can understand now why Jed Wallace did not want to show his client list. Because once Blake Lively gets a hold of that client list, guess what? She's going to be telling everyone, and lawsuits are going to be coming out of everyone's woo-haws. I guess that's the word of the day. But it's just, to me, very interesting that within just like literally a matter of a month? Jed Wallace and Melissa Nathan are brought up so many times. To me, it just seems a little bit weird. That's all I'm going to say. It's a little fishy. Something's not right in the water, But that's it for me today. It's Monday. I'm going to go and edit this and then rest. There's a little task that I still need to do from the day, but I can definitely do that. Just going to relax, honestly, and try to get this out of me. You know what I'm saying? Try to work it out. But I hope you're all having the great day. Please drop your comments about any of this that you saw or anything that's on your mind. There will be new videos brought to you this week, day. And please, if you want, join the channel, okay? Or at least like, comment, and subscribe these videos, y'all. But there will be new members videos only coming this week. I'm very excited. Tomorrow will be kind of a funny, entertaining one. And then on Thursdays, it's all about being the better version of yourself, where we smash goals, we talk about mindfulness, abundance, and really, truly becoming the person of your future with intentional change. And we are rewiring our nervous system. So if that's something that you like to do and you want to dig deeper and you want a little bit of an accountability group, please join the membership. It's at the lowest tier. And if you're not into that, then just like, comment, and subscribe because that is free, okay? But it was super nice to be here with y'all today. I hope you're having a great day. I don't know, just something new with me right now feels a little bit heavy, and I'm going to go take care of it, okay? I love you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.